I'm Cleetus McFarland, and today we're at my shop talking about McFlurry, our 7.3 liter twin turbo Godzilla Mustang Bruno Lenco car that has a Haltech Nexus R5, and it's a ripper. Yeah, we built McFlurry because one, I've always known Foxbodies are fast. Two, parts availability is really good. Three, everyone likes them. Four, I don't even think I paid for this car. I'm pretty sure Doug Cook from Motion Racers gave it to me. So it's been in the parking lot, and I don't know, I just ended up with it somehow. Doug was like, listed it for sale, and I was like, hey, I'll take that Foxbody, and then he brought it here and gave me the title. And then I don't know if I ever even paid him. We had this Godzilla engine, and everyone loves a Ford engine in a Ford. So when we decided to go ahead and build the first Godzilla project, this car was the perfect candidate. It's easy to make fast, and it's Ford on Ford. It's perfect. Everyone wants to see a Barra engine, or Barra. But can't go wrong with 7.3 liters of freedom. It's basically a big block. Have not gotten a cease and desist from McDonald's, which I thought we'd have one by the end of Sick Week. But I think they're just a fan. I think they're fans. I think they're like, dude, that's a ripper. We can't cease and desist that bad unit. It's McFlurry. I think at this point, this car has more of a right to the name McFlurry than their ice cream machines. I mean, it runs better. I think start to finish, maybe 3 weeks or so. Ty kind of threw the cage in it, which luckily he did a 750 cage. I kind of give Ty the reins to do whatever he wants with the fabrication stuff because he thinks more on the terms of safety versus I think more on the terms of going fast. So let him just kind of do whatever he wants. He went ahead and funny car hooped it, just went all out. And that was over a couple weeks of time. And then we decided to build the car. So we pulled it out of the fab side and we just started piecing it together, and that only took a couple weeks because we had collected all the parts. So we had the turbos, we had the engine. I think we called Haltech maybe a week before we wanted to build it because we knew you guys had parts in stock, and we kind of talked a little bit with some of your crew. So we called you guys up. We're like, all right, we're ready to build it. 3 days before the event that we have to be at Sick Week, that should be plenty of time. They get here, there's no engine in the car, and one of the guys from Haltech was like, dude, you guys are never gonna get this done. I think it was Andrew, and I was like, brother, what do you mean? This sucker's going to Sick Week. So we pulled a couple all-nighters and freaking slapped everything in together. It actually turned out really good. It's a fairly high-quality build for being rushed, and then Rick came in, slapped a tune on her, and we fired her up. I'd say hardcore work on it for 1 week straight, and then another extra 2 weeks of just fabricating and, putting the rear end in it. Just that type of stuff, bolting on control arms and wheels and all that good stuff. But putting the engine and drivetrain in it, 1 week. I think on 7 or 8 pounds of boost, we made 750 horsepower, and then we took it off the dyno, and at the track, we're running 20 pounds of boost all the way up to, we saw 30 when we blew the head gaskets. So, I mean, it's got to be making north of 1,300, I would think. And it did that on a stock bottom end. It made 22 pounds of boost. So I'd say on stock bottom end, we made 1,150, 1,200 or so. And it didn't blow up. It blew up on the street. So the stock bottom end let go on the street, just cruising down the street, probably because we put so much stress on the rods earlier in the day, and it just let go. But now it's got billet aluminum rods in it, so they're beefed up. You ain't gonna break a rod anymore. The fuse now is the head gaskets. Well, we always stick the turbos out of the hoods on our cars because how do you know if your turbo's there if you can't see it? You know what I mean? And how's everyone gonna know you have turbos if they can't see them? I've always had that philosophy. Like when I first saw, you know, really badass cars when I was younger, I was like, man, that's so cool. And I wanted it so bad. I was like, I want a car like that so bad. And it never has made sense to me, like, why build a car that looks stock if it's not? If I have turbos, like, brother, I want everyone to know I got a set of turbos on this thing. And we take it to Orlando. We run it to the 330. Made an insane rib, like 117 or 118, 60 foot. We're like, oh my gosh. We bring it back, check everything over. James decides to just go the full quarter mile next rib. Questionable decision, but it was epic. I mean, it went at 820 something at 160 or somewhere in that ballpark, and we were mind blown. Normally, when we build a car, it's like, all right, it went at 10, okay, and then we're like work our way into the 9s, and then we're like, all right, we're going for an 8, and then we'll go like an 898. Car's like working its tail off to do it. That's historically how all our cars have been, at least. And then James just goes to 825 first quarter mile pass ever. Ruined all of our content for months. So we're like, holy crap. Meet him back at the trailer. He's all fired up. But it kind of dawned on me on this build that this is not just a slap together build. I mean, it has, aside from the engine, it has the best transmission you could get for drag racing. It has the best rear end, the best suspension, and it was built by some of the best guys in the racing community. So this was the first car we built in a long time from the ground up, and I was like, damn, we built a pretty solid unit here. This car will be going 6s this year. I have no doubt. With not a lot of effort, it's going to be going 6s. It's got a drivetrain built for a freaking big tire pro mod. You know, so there's nothing else that's going to break. Suspension's really easy to tune, so as long as the engine can hold. And I think the tuning, our boy Rick gets on the Haltech, logs in on the Wi-Fi. As long as he's got the tune close, I don't see any reason why I can't go a 6. I've got several aspects of the Haltech software that I like, because I can pretty much use all tuning softwares at this point. Some much better than others, but I can understand most tuning softwares. The Haltech, you plug it in, whether the car is on or powered or anything, you can connect to the computer. A lot of times that's really convenient because, you know, the switches can be off, or Zach can be taking stuff apart behind the dash. And as long as I plug my USB into my computer, it powers the computer, am I right? I can click help and then text a code to my guy at Haltech, or, you know, someone on the helpline, and they type in a 3-digit code, and then they're on the Haltech software instantly. And then my last one would be, I like the dial switches, and then you can go in the software, and I can have basically like a dozen boost curves set up, and then James can just pick one based on the track condition, which that is popular in most tuning softwares, but the way that Haltech lays it out, it's just one screen, and it's just the number 1 boost curve, the number 2 boost curve, the number 3, and you can just set your dome pressure profiles super easy all on one screen. It's just, I like it.